You know, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this for a long time, and it literally irritates me that I've got to come on here on a Sunday night and take my time to come and talk to you about the damn red heifer. It really does annoy me that as much work as I've done, as much talk as I've done about this, as much as I've talked about this, I still got to come on and talk to you about the red freaking heifer. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Fifth wheel, Taylor Healy, why people still listen and buy and pay attention and watch this silliness. I just can't believe it. I've been over it and over it and over it, and yet here it still comes. And I've got to talk about the red heifer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you without the slightest shadow of any doubt that the red heifer is a bunch of bull. There's no doubt about it. I'm not even trying to be funny. Sometimes I can't help it. But the red heifer is a bunch of bull. A bunch of bull. And Andrew Adams, there is no original sin. And I'm a little bit turned up tonight because I'm a little bit irritated at having to talk about such a stupid subject, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you, I'm a little upset about having to talk about such a stupid subject. I really am. I really am. Yes, Lou, I am. And I'm upset about having to talk about such a stupid subject as the red freaking heifer. The red heifer is a bunch of bull. And let me just talk to you about what I'm trying to talk to you about, because some of you are saying, Jeff, we don't even know what you're talking about. Well, take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll go through this, and I'll try not to cuss. Bible prophecy fulfilled. First red heifer born in 2,000 years, signaling the Ancient of Days, or the end of days, the Daily Star Sunday. A biblical prophecy has been fulfilled as a red heifer was born, signaling the end of days and the coming of the Messiah in both Christianity and Judaism. The Temple Institute, well, that solves it. That removes all the mystery of why this thing is being bandied about. The red heifer is featured in the end times of both Christianity and Judaism. The cow's birth and sacrifice. The cow's birth and sacrifice. Sacrifice is said to precede the construction of the third temple in Jerusalem. And the third temple's construction, following the destruction of the first two, heralds the arrival of the Jewish Messiah, tribulation, Antichrist, the whole 9 yards. This stupid cow, this red heifer cow, had to be born, quote unquote, had to be sacrificed, because you know what? What's a good Christian thing without some good blood sacrifice? And it had to be sacrificed, and its ashes had to be put on the altar. So the new temple that supposedly is supposed to be built could be built, so we can have the Antichrist that's supposed to be in the future come take it over, so we can have the tribulation that's supposed to be in the future come take it over, and we can have the rapture that's supposed to be in the future, and the chopping of the heads that's supposed to be in the future, and the two witnesses supposed to be in the future. It's all bull. I wrote a book. I went on Coast to Coast AM, and yet I still got to come here on Saturday night and talk about this stuff. I wrote a book proving you and showing to you without a shadow of doubt that every bit of this end-time eschatology prophecy is 100% Jesuit doctrine designed to derail the Protestant Reformation. And so I get to go over it again because nobody else will do it, to be frank with you. Nobody else will do it. So here I am having to do it, and I'm not happy about it. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of happy not being happy about this, because your Marzullis and your, what's the other poor little guy, Scotty Clark, that gets dragged along like a dog on a leash, and all these other people that all they want to do is sell books and get paid big dollars to show up at seminars and talk about this lunacy, and they know it. Marzulli knows he's lying to you, and he doesn't have the guts to face me. And I don't expect for that to change. That's why I call him L.A. Cucaracha. Lazy Marzulli, L-A-Z-Y Marzulli. Rex doesn't like it. I don't care. He's lazy. He's a coward. He won't face me. He knows he's preaching Jesuit doctrine, and nobody else has the guts to call him out on it. But here I am L.A. Marzulli, you're a coward if you won't debate me. L.A. Marzulli, you're lying to people and you know it. You know you're preaching Jesuit doctrine. Why are you doing it? Up until, ladies and gentlemen, the 17th century, the 16th century, I'm sorry, I'm off by a few years. Every single person that ever embraced the idea of Christianity or biblical prophecy knew that the book of Revelation was history. It was history 400 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. It was history 400 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody knew it. And that was one of the main planks of the Protestant Reformation. The Protestant Reformation came saying the Pope is the seat of Antichrist. Roman Catholicism is the false religion. Lou, you're right. He does it for the money. Speaking of L.A. Marzulli. And if I'm not going to say that, that'd just be unkind. And that was one of the main messages of the Protestant Reformation, that the papacy is Antichrist, that Rome is the embodiment of the false religious system, and that the book of Revelation, the book of Daniel are a historical account of the rise of Rome and the false religion. There's no doubt about it. I've been through it in the book, September 23, Revelation 12 sign. I've been through it in the book, Final Message of the Last Apostle, also on Coast to Coast AM. It's all over this channel. You can find it. You can see it. You can read it. You can listen to it. There's no doubt about it, ladies and gentlemen. And in the 16th century, in response to the Protestant Reformation, somebody's making jokes, they're funny. In the 16th century, Ignatius of Loyola, Father Francisco Rivera, wrote the book that invented, ladies and gentlemen, that invented the red heifer, that invented the third temple, that invented the tribulation, that invented the two witnesses, that invented the modern concept of the rapture, that invented the modern concept of the trumps, the vials, that invented the modern concept of the second coming. They made it up. The Jesuits made it up. I've shown you irrefutable proof that the Jesuits have made it up. And who do you think this world is run by? If not by Jesuits, the Jesuits are in league with the people that run this world. The red heifer is part of the Jesuit eschatological end days deception. They know it's wrong. They know it's made up by Jesuits. They know it's made up from the Jesuit Catholic system. And it's so amazing to me. Marzulli's a Protestant, and all the other little Pied Pipers that march down and collect their checks are Protestants. And they're preaching doctrine that was invented to derail the Protestant Reformation. It's only been 400 or 500 years. And the information that the Protestant reformers gave their lives and shed their blood to get out to people, Marzulli and all the rest of these marionettes, these money-grubbing or deluded marionettes, are preaching the doctrine that their fathers died for. Thank you, Maggie. Where in the Bible do we prove that Paul is Antichrist? The proof that Paul is Antichrist is all over this book, Apostle Paul Antichrist. I wrote it. The proof that Paul is Antichrist is all over this book. I wrote it, Final Message of the Last Apostle. Or get on this YouTube channel and just Google up there in the search bar, Paul Antichrist or Antichrist, Paul Antichrist, Jeffrey Darty. It's there. It's very, very easy to find. Very, very easy to find. And it's also very, very easy to find with any study or research at all that the Jesuits invented everything you know about eschatology. The Jesuits invented the modern concept of the rapture. The Jesuits invented the idea of this third temple. Nobody ever even conceived of it until the Roman Catholic Jesuit priest Rivera wrote the book, the expository. It was the. I'm trying to remember the name of the actual name of the book. It was in Italian, I believe. It was the Gospel of John and the Revelation, I believe. They made it up, ladies and gentlemen. They made up the idea of the third temple. They made up the idea of this rebuilt temple at the end of the ages. I know you all believe, you've all been taught that's true. It's a lie. It's false. It has nothing to do with Bible prophecy. Nothing to do with Bible prophecy. And Derek does have a great document on Scribed about Paul. And it has nothing to do with this red heifer. It has nothing to do with real biblical prophecy. And let me tell you this. If they ever do build another temple, it will have nothing to do with Bible prophecy. It will only have to do with the deception. If they build a new temple, it's part of the deception of the fake plastic Jesus second coming or the fake alien second coming. Don't buy this stuff. The red heifer's a bunch of bull. Eschatology's a bunch of bull. The third temple's a bunch of bull. The rapture's a bunch of bull. The second coming's a bunch of bull. And you are doing the same stupidity that the master said you'd be doing. He said that they came to him and said, what are the signs? It's in the book of Luke. Look it up. I'm not going to spoon feed you. They came to him and they said, tell us what the signs are going to be of your coming. What are the signs of the second coming? And he said, there won't be any signs. There will not be any outward observable events of the second coming because the kingdom of God's inside you. So let me ask you something. If the master said there's no signs of the coming, then why do you believe Marzulli when he tells you the red heifer is a sign of the coming? Why do you believe these eschatological idiots when they tell you the temple, rebuilt temple's a sign? Master said no sign, they say heifer's a sign. Master said no sign, they say rebuilt temple's a sign. Master said no sign, they say tribulation's a sign. Master said no sign, they say mark of the beast. Master said no sign, they say heads getting chopped off. Master said no sign, they say two witnesses. Master said no sign, they say. They can say until they're red in the face like the heifer. But the master said there will not be any observable signs. And then he said, if they say, look, over here's a sign of his coming, over there's a sign of his coming, here's a red heifer, here's a purple heifer, they're building a temple, they're building this, they're building that, don't go out. But yet, they're cashing checks and making wrecks of your life, of your beliefs, and making me get all wound up on a Sunday evening. It's not good for an older fellow like me to get my blood pressure up. It bugs me. It really does. Why this stuff has such life and why this stuff has such profit. And we're working hard just to keep enough to not have too much month at the end of the money. But hey, you know what? When I sleep very well, and I don't have to worry that anybody's going to find me out because I know that I'm giving you the truth. The red heifer is a bunch of bull. It's all Jesuit doctrine invented to derail the Protestant Reformation. And if you're good with that, all right, we're done here. Let me go back to the chat room and see what we got here. What do we got here? There was no original sin. The Buffalo Woman. Some people are so lost they'll cling to anything. Isn't that the truth? I need to know when I can tell people that Paul's the Antichrist. Already answered that one. No temple will be built. That's right. It's just garbage. Global Witness has a Paul document and numerous examples to show he was Antichrist. He does. That's really good. China and Russia. Okay. Thank you so much, Maggie, Allison, Michelle DeHaven, Lou Machado, Laline, None Your Business, Teresa Scott. I'm just trying to name off some of the people here. There's so many. Rocker Chick. I heard the King James didn't like the fact Mystic Woman would go and help the babies of his wife and queen. I don't know about that, but that's from Amanda B, I think. Yep. L.A. Dane, LaDane, Teresa Scott, Nancy Smith. Maybe we are today. Good morning. Jesuits play both sides. Absolutely. Daniel Damani. Hey there, Jeff. Just heard the word silliness, but isn't it all silly? Yeah. Ask me if I care. Good question. I don't know why I do. Beth Roper, Tracy Dyer, John Dickerson, Maggie. We answered your question. Maybe we are today. Sophia Wisdom tells me Catholicism needs purging. Absolutely. Maggie again. All right. Had no idea, says Lou. It's all a bunch of poop, says Tracy. I agree. Didn't the master say only evil and faith? Oh, that's so good. Thank you for teeing me up on that. 305 Oregon. The master talked about Marzulli and the people that follow him. The master talked about the people that preach the same thing and teach the same thing that Marzulli did. He said, the master said, that there are people that will seek after signs, even though the master said there won't be any outward sign of my appearing. The master said there would be people that would seek after the signs. And he told us exactly who those people are. He said the wicked and the perverse generation seeks after signs. A wicked and a perverse generation is looking for signs. Here's your sign. So I ask you, Marzulli, Clark, and all the rest of you eschatological intellectual midgets, you eschatological deceivers, are you wicked or are you perverse? You're seeking signs. The master says that you're either wicked or perverse. You choose. But either way you choose, you lose. And I'm not going down with you. You're wicked or you're perverse. Take your choice. I say choose neither. But that's just me. Do I feel better? Yeah, I feel better now. The master said there won't be any signs, any outwardly observable signs of a second coming, because there won't be one, because he's already in your heart. The kingdom of God's already in your heart. And if there's not any signs, then the red heifer's not one. The third temple's not one. The rapture's not one. And if you're still looking for them, are you wicked or are you perverse? Lou Machado says, how crazy is this? Today, I cleared out my old YouTube subscriptions, and Marzulli was one of them. No coincidences. Lou, I salute you for seeking after truth. The divinity in me recognizes the divinity in each one of you, and I salute you all for being here seeking after truth. Keep questioning answers. Keep asking questions. Keep questioning answers, ladies and gentlemen. We are the last generation of real humans. We've got no time for red heifers. We've got no time for red herrings. See, even their idioms that they make up. Oh, that's a red herring. Be careful. They're trying to tell you that the red heifer is garbage. Fractal emphatic. Borderline awake. Billy Mack. Monkey experiment. Nice to see so many new people in the chat room. The truth is making us free. We're the last generation of real humans. Time to flush the foolishness. Time to grow up. John Dickerson, count yourself lucky that you're unfamiliar with Marzulli. And I could keep answering all these questions, but I'm going to get out of here. I'd love me a red heifer. If you see a red heifer, grab him and we'll barbecue him. We'll take him out to Arizona in November and have a big barbecue and watch all of these eschatological. The only thing I can think of is eschatological idiots. I should probably think of something else because idiots isn't that kind. How about eschatological imbeciles? That's better. I like that one. Eschatological imbeciles, and make them all cry. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm finished. But the bottom line is there's no red heifer that makes any difference. There's no prophecy of this eschatology stuff that makes any difference. It's all made up. It's all Jesuit. And even if it happens, it's part of the deception. And you've got to wake up and you've got to realize that you're being sold a bill of goods. And when I say sold, I mean sold. Because Marzulli and his crowd don't do nothing for free. They don't get paid. They don't go to those seminars and speak for free. And they don't give you their books for free. Because it's all about money, money, money. Yeah, yeah. Cash and checks, making wrecks. That's the way of the eschatological imbeciles, the Jesuit marionettes marching along to their Jesuit marching orders like good little puppets. We're calling them out. We're taking them down. We're the last generation of real humans. We're taking no prisoners. And the red heifers, nothing but a bunch of bull. And after all that, it's kind of funny to say love and light, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. Unindoctrinate yourself. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. Be your own guru. And don't buy the bull of the red heifer.